What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another War of the Visions video here on Fort Misery Gaming. Today, guys, we do have a little bit of unexpected news from our 4th Frontline WOTV FFBE update from the developers. So some pretty cool quality of life things that we knew we were getting at some point, but they finally have released them, and finally some other things as well to look forward to. So they're doing our whole greet thing and all that stuff to welcome you guys and improvement. So here's the important update. So additional functions are going to be added to auto repeat. You can set the number of auto repeats that you want to do. You can allow players to set desired item and quantity with auto repeat continuing until acquired, automatically using NRG restore when NRG is low. NRG restore will automatically be used in order of large, medium to small. So the only unfortunate thing about that is, like, say you want to use all your small pots and not your large or mediums, that's the only thing. So basically, if you want to avoid that, you can just use them, and then at that point use your the leftover energy and don't set this function. But you would think that it would go from small, medium to large, but that's fine. It's still another function you guys have embedded in this. And then during battle, auto speed and menu buttons will now be displayed constantly, so that's pretty cool. But I do like that they are letting you do like the set numbers, because, like, for instance, on when you're clearing like new story content that we get in the far plane, like certain levels you need to do like 3 times, certain levels 5 times, certain levels 10 times. So the ability to just know how many you have left to do for your endeavors, because typically once we do our endeavors, we don't go back to that content because we farm the EX stage. You can do it that way, so that's pretty cool. And then say you want a certain amount of clears or whatever for your EX stages for whatever reason, then you guys can set that up as well. So that is pretty cool. They're enabling you to do that, so I do like that. And that's kind of how it looks there. Unlimited number of repeats, acquire items, all that kind of good stuff. Feature to turn on and off each ability during autoplay. This has been highly requested feature. Along with auto repeat options, players will be able to set which abilities the AI will use for each unit. Players will be able to change these settings based on content, quests, arena, guild battles, etc. individually. This is probably the most important thing of this whole update, simply because there's so many skills from different characters that you're forced to use due to priority of how the AI prioritizes them in PvP and Guild War specifically. So the fact that now, like, your Ayaka is not going to cast regen 1,000 times, that Mont is going to go stone throw constantly, like, that's a huge thing of improving those characters' usability in autoplay for Arena and Guild War. So that is very, very good. And you guys see there, you go to advanced settings, and then you can select for use an auto battle quest multi-duel, guild battle, porcelain tower, and you basically can turn off that specific skill for that specific mode. So say you want to cast regen and quests in multiplayer, but you don't want to cast it in Guild Wars and regular PvP, then you can do that. So this is a very good way that Ayaka, hopefully, specifically, will cast Holy more often. You know, that's a big thing with her, is like we would like to see her use it more often. Like, I don't ever see her use it in Guild War or PvP, and it's very frustrating because she could do quite a bit of damage with that guaranteed light damage if she would do that. So that's very good. And then obviously characters like Kilth, things like that are also going to be a lot better off as well, being able to, you know, prioritize the DPS skills over, you know, certain buff skills that you probably don't want to use, but you want to use that particular class for that particular DPS skill. So that's going to be very good overall for just the usability. So it's more based on, you know, what the gear of the gear of the hero, the, you know, how well you've worked on that hero, things like that. You know, your min-maxing being put more into effect, and how the AI particularly behaves when you can turn those certain skills off to minimize error. So that is super, super good. They also are going to have an energy saving mode being added. Automatically switch to display to reduce battery consumption after a set period of inactivity. How to set the energy saving mode menu, options, energy saving mode. So this pretty much is for people on phones and iPads only. Obviously, it doesn't matter for emulators. That if, like, say you have your your iPad that's not charging or something like that, and you want to set it up to auto farm overnight, and you guys can do that. So that's pretty cool. Like, I definitely respect that feature. Next, raid improvements. Room settings are now easier to change. Challenge system can now be reselected in situations where a player accidentally made a solo attempt on a raid boss they cannot beat or unable to recruit a group of players. So this is pretty cool that, like, yeah, if you go in and you hit solo at like level 100 or something like that, and obviously you can't beat that and you don't want to waste your orbs, then you can back out of this and set this up to like regular 4-player or 2-player co-op. So that's pretty cool. Host reward changes, adjustments we made so the player that creates rooms leader for multi-quest will acquire more items. So we knew of this a long time ago when I did a whole multi-quest video on drop rates. I also showed some clips from the JP side of the hosts getting more. So people that are able to macro or to farm in solo multiplayer, now you're going to get even more drops with being able to do solo. At least I would assume it would still work even if you were doing it all yourself and not bringing in people. We'll have to see how that works. It's like do a test to see if you go in solo with no guests, if that will still apply. We'll have to see on that. Additional improved features, unit screen improvements, defense and spirit will now be displayed. That's pretty cool because they're not being displayed right now in the unit's stat display, so then you guys can see more on that. Battle improvements, addition of auto formation options when selecting auto formation. Players will be able to choose whether they only want to auto set equipment, items, vision cards, etc. So, okay. I don't really ever use that, so that's not a big deal to me particularly. The guild and arena battle improvements. Previously, the skip button could only be accessed by opening the menu, which if you had your thing set on 2 times or 1.5 speed is very hard to do. Inconvenient to use. As such, the skip button will now be constantly displayed on the battle screen. So very, very good. You can just go in and skip, you know, more accurately and not have to wait for like a pause and like the autoplay of the different attacks being used, you know. So that's very good. Reverse lookup skill translation improvement. After transitioning to a quest from a reverse lookup, such as when selecting a specific enhancement material and selecting a quest in which it can be obtained, players will be able to return to the original screen instead of being sent back to the quest list every time. Okay, that's cool. A little bit of a time saver. Equipment item enhanced screen improvements. Players can now transition from equipment item enhanced screen to awakening in a single tap. All right, that is very good. What they do need to do still though is if they have, say you have all the materials to just straight up craft a +4 or a +5 or a +3 or whatever you're doing in your gear, you need to just be able to just go straight to there, and whatever your optimal, you know, whatever your optimal thing, if you want to solve, you want crit, if you want magic, whatever you want, just let them pick that. If obviously through all the different, if you're going from a 0 to a +5 or to a +4, obviously you would have gotten at least 3 different types of that gear through crafting. I mean, very unlikely you wouldn't. So they need to do that because, like, going all the way from a 0 to a +5 is such an absorbent amount of time, it's ridiculous. So they do need to add that in here. This does cut down a little bit on your time of doing it, but you still have to go through the whole crafting tree system from a 0 to a +1 to a +2 to a +3, so on and so forth. So they do need to change this to just go straight to whatever your highest availability is based on your resources. That definitely needs to be added eventually. So other improvements, override UI improvements. So I don't know if that means particularly to how heroes interact outside of this skill turn-off function, or if it's just, they mean like the home screen. Unification of the use of the home screen to refer to home. Okay, improvement to the tutorial. It doesn't matter to us. This feature only applies to new players. Yeah, so other improvements doesn't really, I mean, until we know what the overall UI improvements are, if that's like the layout of the home screen is different, like your lobby and stuff, then all right, we'll have to see what that is. But overall, that's not really too great for us. List of new and improved features we're considering for future updates. We're not quite at this point to provide you the specific release date yet, but rest assured that our development team is hard at work. Your patience is appreciated. Point quests, where players' actions during battle will affect the points they earn. Maximum damage dealt, number of chains, etc. will affect the points you earn, and wonderful rewards can be acquired based on human points and final totals. I believe JP's already had this, so I have to see how this pans out, but I believe that's for like a specific event. I don't think that's just for like everyday daily farming. Well, I'm not completely sure on that because I didn't really see an in-depth video or explanation on that. So if anyone knows for sure on the point quests, if that's to a specific time event, you know, like a collaboration or a special hero event, let me know on that. Hard quest feature will be added that allows players to bookmark specific units, hard quests, and save them to a list. Okay, I mean, fine, I guess, but doing the hard quest, like going from stage to stage, wasn't that much of a big deal to me, but some people, they may like the time feature to be saved. And then multi-quest, a feature will be added to notify players of their turn via vibration function. That is pretty cool. I do like that, of like, you know, I enter my command, I look away from my screen, and then I don't realize that it's been my turn, especially in raids. Like in multi-quest, it doesn't really matter, but in raids for sure, you miss your action and then everyone gets pissed because you missed your turn. So I totally understand this being a thing, so hopefully as long as you can hear it. And then AI improvements. When the AI is able to defeat an enemy, it will prioritize skills with no casting time and select the skill with the lowest. Thank you. Thank you. That is very, very good. Very, very good. So that is fantastic that they're going to do that now. So like, for instance, if Ayaka could holy an enemy to death, then she'll do that, and she won't like cast regen or a heal or a haste or something like that to kill the enemy. That is very, very good. So that's super, super good. And then match battles, class matches, addition of auto feature. 2x mode can now be toggled regardless of royal rank. So this is really good. I do love this a lot for match battles. I'm going to be interested to see how they are going to do class matches. Hopefully that means that, like, if you have a certain amount of points, you're in a specific class, and then they, you know, break up the people instead of just fighting people that's in your player rank. Hopefully they're going to do something with that. Hopefully they're going to add some kind of rewards to that, because right now it's like really dead content, and it could be like match battles could be something really cool. It's giving you the option to play manual or auto PvP. But right now it's just like, once you get like, if you really want to go for like 1 or 2 copies of Hermes Sandals, that's like really the only incentive to really go for that, in my opinion. But hopefully they will do something to incentivize to play this mode more. So at least they are acknowledging they're attempting to working on it down the line. And then other improvements, the reverse lookup of items from crafting recipes. Okay, and then there you have it. So then they just talk about stay tuned social media posts, and they respect and be respectful in online communities, all that stuff. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think of all the updates? A lot of this we knew was coming. They teased this a couple weeks ago. I think it was when Warrior of Light came out that they were going to be doing the ability selection mode, but doing some more stuff with auto repeat. They're going to be doing some updates for how the AI performs in Guild Wars and regular PvP, and touching on the manual PvP finally doing something with that and giving us more rewards for hosting multiplayer. So some pretty cool stuff. Like, I'm actually pretty pleased with the amount of quality of life that they are attempting to go into over the next couple months for this game. And I believe that with the ability turn on, turn off, I believe we should be getting that this next update, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they say a specific date here, but I believe it was mentioned something around like the third week of August update. So I'm pretty sure it's either this Wednesday or the following Wednesday. If it's not this Wednesday, then for sure we are getting the ability turn off function the last Wednesday of the month. So we'll see for sure, guys, but let me know what you guys thought of today's video. If you guys did enjoy today's update video, make sure you guys drop a like down below. Hit subscribe if you guys are new, and ring that bell so you do not miss the next upload here on Formizer Gaming for FFBE War of the Visions. And we'll see you all next time. Have an awesome weekend. Be safe. Wear your mask. All that good stuff. And we'll see you all in the next one.